It's finally time to kick off the 2021 season as the Giants are traveling to the city of brotherly love to take on the Phillies. Let's take a look at the starter comparison. Derek Rodriguez is the opening day hurler for the Giants, while Aaron Nola gets the nod for the Phillies. Take a look at the Giants lineup 1-9, and then of course the Phillies lineup with the former Giant Brandon Belt playing first base and batting fifth. Bottom half of the first innings where we start things off, Gene Segura going down on a curveball for the first out of the game, and then after that it brings up Cesar Hernandez, who whiffs through a cutter on the inside part of the plate. Bryce Harper then hits a hard ground at the first base as Beer handles that one, and we move things on to the top of the second now where Beer's at the plate, and he hits a ball to deep right field, but it's going to die out right at the wall as Harper puts that one away. Onto the bottom half of the frame now where D-Rod's right back at it as he strikes at Rendon on the drop third strike, toss over to first. Next batter up, Brandon Belt. Gets the cutter inside, pops it up in the infield, Beers camped into that one, easy out for him. And then for the third out of the inning, it would be JT Realmuto swinging through a 77-mile-an-hour curveball. In the bottom of the third, Nick Williams would also go down on a curveball as D-Rod was cruising early on in this game. Top of the sixth inning now as he skip ahead a bit, D-Rod at the dish, hits a ball off the third base bag and ricochets into foul territory. It's a base knock for him. After that, Robbie Grossman fights off an inside pitch, fouls it or bloops it into left field for a base knock. First and second brings up Tetsuto Yamada, who gets a pitch he likes, gets some good wood on it, and you can kiss that baby goodbye. A 3-run shot for Tetsuto Yamada, and the Giants jump out to a 3-0 lead here in the sixth inning. TJ Trejo then came on in the bottom half of the seventh for the Giants, and things did not go well for him. JT Realmuto gets an inside pitch that he turns on and sends it a long way into those left field seats, a solo shot. Phillies are now on the board with a 3-1 game. Then it brings up Odubel Herrera, who hits a ball a long way as well. That's going to be into the right field seats, and just like that, it is a 1-run game. As it's a 3-2 ball game, Trevor Gott then came on to get the final out of the inning, and he would do just that as Nick Williams goes down on a changeup swinging. Move things on to the bottom of the ninth now. Reyes Maranta trying to get the save. First batter of the inning, Bryce Harper, 2-2 count, gets a pitch over the plate, and he does not miss. Another solo shot for the Phillies, and they tie this game in the bottom of the ninth. Maranta blows the save. It's a 3-3 game. Next batter up was Anthony Rendon, their big offseason acquisition of last season, as he's going to hit a line drive out the left field for the first out, but it was hit hard, and then Brandon Belt, the former Giant, of course, walks it off against his former team. Another solo home run, 4 runs, 4 solo shots for the Philadelphia Phillies as they walk this one off here on opening day. Bryce Harper gets player of the game honors as he was 2 for 4 on the day. He had the home run to tie it up in the ninth. And then, of course, the former Giant Brandon Belt walks it off with his solo shot for the second home run of the inning. Tetsuto Yamada's 3-run shot in the sixth inning ends up mattering not at all, as Reyes Maranta could not lock down the Phillies and close the game out. The Giants back home in San Fran now as they're taking on an NL West foe in the Arizona Diamondbacks. A long blonde-haired man named Zach Greinke gets the nod for the D-backs, making his second start of the season, and opposing him will be another long blonde-haired man in Sean Anderson, the right-hander from the University of Florida. Take a look at the Giants lineup 1-9 as well as the D-backs lineup. We'll start things off top half of the first inning. Already 1 out. Joey Rickard's going to whiff through a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for the second out of the inning. And then after that, David Peralta whiffs through a big curveball from Anderson as he strikes out the 2 batters in the inning, and move things on to the bottom half of the frame where Robbie Grossman's going to hit a ball the other way into left field for a base knock, so he's on first. Brings up Jock Peterson later in the inning with 2 outs as he's going to send a ball into the right center field gap that'll get down and actually past Ketel Marte, which allows the runner to score all the way from first base, and Peterson has himself a RBI triple. Seth Beer comes up to the plate and he hits a ball into right field that'll drive in Peterson, and the Giants have themselves a 2-0 lead. Aaron Altair would then hit a ball a long way to right field, but it would die out at the wall as it's put away for the third out of the inning. Skip things ahead to the top of the fourth now. David Peralta hits a ground ball over to shortstop. Barreto throws it into the dirt, and Beer cannot come up with a scoop, so it'll be an error on Beer. Peralta's now on first with 2 outs, as then Jake Lamb hits a ball up the middle. That's actually the first base hit of the game for the D-backs. Here in the 4th inning it comes. And then a ball would get away from Joey Bart. He could not keep it in front of him, so the runners move up to 2nd and 3rd, but Flores would then just ground out on the next pitch to 3rd base as Anderson gets out of the jam. Still 2-0. Top of the 5th now. Anderson strikes out Joseph on a 97-mile-an-hour high fastball. Now for the 2nd out of the inning, it would be Nick Ahmed looking on a slider that nicks the outside half. Anderson's 4th strikeout of the game. And then for the 3rd out, he would get the opposing pitcher and Zach Greinke to pop up into foul territory. As we move things on to the bottom half of the frame now, Brandon Crawford fights off an inside pitch that's going to bloop into left center field for a base knock. A single for Crawford, so he's on first base. Next batter up is Sean Anderson, lays down a bunt. Crawford goes to 2nd. A sac bunt for the pitcher Anderson, and then Robbie Grossman's going to hit a ball up the middle. Ground ball into center field. Crawford gets sent around 3rd. The throw from Marte to the plate is going to be in time as they slap the tag, and we're still at a 2-0 game. Top of the 7th, Anderson strikes out Ahmed to end that inning. He would go 7 strong, scoreless in this game. So Tyler Lyons comes on for the 9th, facing a bunch of lefties looking for the save. Strikes out Peralta, the first lefty of the inning. After that, it brings up Jake Lamb. He's also going to go down swinging, and then they leave on Lyons for facing the right-hander as he gets the slider on the inside half, locks him up. Lyons strikes out the side, and the San Francisco Giants win this game 2-0 here over the Arizona D-backs. Sean Anderson with a fantastic game on the hill for the Giants. 7 scoreless innings, only gave up 4 hits, struck out 5, did not walk a single batter. Jock Peterson's only hit of the day was an RBI triple. Robbie Grossman was actually 3 for 4 in the day with 3 singles. Brandon Crawford 2 for 3 with 2 singles as well, as the Giants win this game 2-0 here over the D-backs. Now, before we actually move on to the next game, we do have a roster move to go over, and that is TJ Trejo has been sent down to AAA Sacramento. He will be back up at some point this season, but for now, he's going to be working on some things in AAA. Being called up from Sacramento to take his place is going to be the right-hander Josh James. He had a great spring. Now he's going to be trying to continue that here in the big leagues in the regular season. It is also worth mentioning that Aaron Altair is absolutely lighting the world on fire right now. Through 76 ABs, he is slashing .329, .386, and he has a .711 slugging percentage, which equals a OPS of over 1,000. He's already got 1.2 WAR on the season. The guy is tearing things up in center field for the Giants. Giants now travel across the country to Flushing, New York at Citi Field to take on the New York Mets, who are sending out their ace in Jacob deGrom, making his 6th start of the 2021 campaign, and he'll be taking on the veteran right-hander in Johnny Cueto, off to another hot start for the Giants. Take a look at their lineup 1-9, and then of course the Mets lineup with their new start outfielder in Mookie Betts. We'll start things off bottom half of the 1st inning. As Jeff McNeil flies the ball at the left field, Jock Peterson gives a little tumble, and he holds on to it. Nice play by Jock out in left field. Brings up Rosario, who softly hits a ball up the middle, but it was up the gut in the weak area of the defense, so it is going to be a base knock. So then Mookie Betts hits a ground ball as Rosario was running on the play. They try to toss the second. I don't know why, but they do get Betts at first base. So now the runner on second and 2 outs. Nimmo hits a ground ball to shortstop. Barreto muffs it, and he has no play at the runner. Nimmo at first base, so it's a bit of a jam now for Cueto, but he would get Conforto to chop back to him, and he would keep it scoreless as we move on to the top of the 3rd inning, where Gilberto Fuentes, playing first base on the day, hits a ball a long way into left center field. Conforto ranging back, and he makes the play at the wall. Then with 1 out, Franklin Barreto hits a ball to the similar park of the ballpark, and this one is going to carry over the fence. A solo shot off the bat of the shortstop, Franklin Barreto, puts the Giants up 1-0. We move on to the top of the 4th now. 2 outs. Jock Peterson gets some decent lumber on that one. That's going to carry up against the wall, and he slides into second with a double. So Peterson on second base brings up Buster Posey now. First pitch swinging, bloops the ball in front of Betts in right field. They do not test his arm, so runners on the corners for the Giants for Tetsuto Yamada. is going to ground a ball up the middle for a base knock and drives in a run. Giants now have a 2-0 lead. Move things on to the bottom of the fourth now. Brandon Nimmo finds a hole as he hits a ball past the shortstop diving glove of Barreto. So Nimmo on first base, then brings up Conforto, who chops the ball up the middle. The toss to second drags the man off the bag, and it's going to be everybody is safe. And then Wilson Ramos comes to the plate, and he gets some good wood on that one. It sends it over the left field fence. A 3-run shot for the New York Mets off the bat of Wilson Ramos, and they have themselves a 3-2 lead now. Cueto would rebound quite nicely, though, as he strikes out Pete Alonso for the second out of the inning, and then J.D. Davis falls the same fate for the third out of the inning. Move things on to the top of the sixth, where Jock Peterson, who had the double earlier, delivers yet again. This one scrapes over the right field fence, a solo shot off the bat of Jock. Ties this game up at 3. Move things on to the bottom of the sixth now, where Michael Conforto is actually going to hit a ball a long way into left center field. Hits off the top of the wall. Altair is there to chuck it into the cutoff man. It's a double for Conforto. And then Wilson Ramos continues to hit. It'll only be a single for him, but Conforto does score from second base as the Mets now have a 4-3 lead. Bottom of the seventh now, Trevor Gott comes on for the Giants. With one out, it's Jeff McNeil, who hits a ball down the right field line. It just barely lands fair, basically on the chalk. That's going to be an easy double for McNeil. So runner on second base with one out brings up Rosario. Pitch gets in the dirt, and for whatever reason, even though Posey kept it in front of him, McNeil tries to move up. He's gunned down at third base, and then Rosario would pop up. Can of corn play for Peterson out in left field as we move on to the top of the eighth inning, where Edwin Diaz came on for the Mets. Seth Beer coming on to pinch hit, and you know what Luke Combs says, Beer will never break your heart, as Seth Beer delivers yet again. Comes on to pinch hit, and he hits a ball down the right field line. That's going to be a double for Beer. He's in scoring position, brings up Robbie Grossman, who's first pitch swinging, grounds the ball to second base, moves up the runner to third base. All it's going to take is a sac fly, but the man who's tearing up the world, Aaron Altair, comes up the plate, hits a long, towering ball to left center field, and that's going to keep carrying over the fence. A 2-run shot, and the Giants now have themselves a 5-4 lead over the Mets. Altair, he's on a tear as he hits the home run. Carter Capps comes on to the bottom of the eighth. He strikes out Mookie Betts for the first out of the inning. They bring on Tyler Lyons after that to face a couple lefties. The first one being Brandon Nimmo. Strikes out of the slider. Easy out for Lyons. Next lefty up, Conforto, actually gets a hit off of the left-hander Lyons. So Conforto's on first base. They would then pinch run for him with Keon Broxton, and the Giants would bring on Reyes Moranta, trying to get a 4-pitch save. Or 4-out save, I should say, and he would strike out Wilson Ramos. The man has been killing them all game long, and Moranta is pumped. They move on to the ninth now, as Moranta's going to strike out Pete Alonso for the first out of the inning. Next batter up, J.D. Davis. The same fade on the same pitch, up and in two-seamer, so 2 down. Brings up Jesus Sucre, who's pinch hitting for the Metropolitans, and he works the count full. Tough AB, draws a walk. Pinch run comes in. It's Dilson Herrera running for Sucre, and then Jeff McNeil would not be able to get the job done as he flies out the right field. Moranta gets the 4-out save, and the Giants win this game over the Mets thanks to a late inning rally on the home run by Aaron Altair in the 8th inning. Moranta gets the save. Gott gets the win in this 5-4 victory for the Giants over the New York Mets here on the road. Jock Peterson gets player of the game honors. He was 3 for 4 on the day with a home run and a double. Aaron Altair obviously extended his hit streak, continues to light things up for this Giants team offensively. Franklin Barreto was 2 for 3 with a solo shot as well, and then Seth Beer pinch hit late in the game and had his only hit as a double. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the San Francisco Giants franchise. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I am saying, we simply cannot allow the city of Boston to have another championship.